If you look at the three main pillars which became part of the Indian Constitution, it's the Motilal Nehru report of 1928, which says there will be no state religion. Men and women will have equal rights based on universal franchise. The third was that Hindustani will be the national language of India with two official scripts, Devanagari and our Urdu, Nastaliq. Okay?
Yes.
And fourth, that India will be a federation with an effective center. This is one. Then in 1931 at Karachi, the fundamental rights were declared that they will also be part of the Indian Constitution. And the third thing was the Pune Pact agreed between Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. Ambedkar, whereby the historically disadvantaged sections of Hindu society, let's say, the Dalits and the Adivasis. Adivasis are the indigenous aboriginal people, okay? The tribes. They will be ensured representation in the legislatures. They will be admitted to universities and educational institutions in proportion 22.5% of their population. And in government services, there will be a reservation for them. These three things became part of the Indian Constitution. And in addition to that, untouchability was declared a criminal offense. So that's the beginning of Indian independence, with the Constitution agreed and in 1949 promulgated in 1950. So if you look at the Indian Constitution, it clearly does not uphold any religious dogma. Actually, on the contrary, one argument the Hindu right has used is that whereas in 1959, the Hindu personal law was reformed by the government, they did not touch the Muslim personal law, which allowed Muslims to apply Sharia when it came to, divorce, inheritance, and things like that. So if you look at the original idea of India, it included everyone, even after the partition, although the partition was a big setback to the whole idea of India. But the founders of India remained steadfast to their original idea of India. And so the Constitution is one thing, and the politics of the Hindu right is a very different thing.
That's very interesting. You mentioned Dr. Ambedkar, who was also the writer of the Constitution, but he was not agreeing with Mr. Gandhi while he was talking about his own people's rights. And in the end of the day, we saw that he adopted Buddhism as a religion. So did he foresaw that this thing is going to happen in the future, and the problems likely this can be created if the very foundations of Hinduism and the caste system remains intact? Do you think that is the reason that this is being exploited by the current leadership?
Let me put like this. Just remember that Dr. Ambedkar was always opposed to the Indian National Congress, always describing it as a caste Hindu party and not a party of all Indians. Okay? Then in the 1946 election, he actually lost the election. But Joginder Nath Mandal, who became Pakistan's law minister, he vacated his seat in what is today Bangladesh. And so Ambedkar was elected again. Now, the founders of modern India, the Indian National Congress, they could just have ignored Dr. Ambedkar. He could sit in the assembly without being given any recognition or any office. So the background is that one of the ministers, Rajkumari Amrit Kaur of the Kapurthala family, actually she had become a Christian. She advised Gandhi ji that we should give this chairman position of the Constitution drafting committee to Dr. Ambedkar. And Gandhi accepted it. But when he proposed this to Nehru apparently reacted and said, Bapu, this man has been opposing us all his life. How can we make him the chairman of the Constitution drafting committee? And Gandhi famously said, Jawaharlal, are we making a constitution for the Congress party or for India? And so Ambedkar, rightly or wrongly, always hated Gandhi and considered him a hypocrite and all that. We know that very well. But at the end of the day, Ambedkar got this position because of Gandhi. So remember that. Now, he wanted to go beyond what was agreed in the Constitution. But just remember, a Constitution always reflects the social conditions, the political situation, the representation in the assembly. So although the Hindu right wanted from day one that India should be declared a Hindu Rashtra and Hinduism should be declared as the primary cultural identity of India, this was not accepted. And the Constitution therefore does not privilege Hinduism anywhere. Actually, I've told you that the power of the government or the state was used to reform Hindu family law. Do you know that in traditional Hindu personal law, women were not given any property? The only property they were given was at the time of marriage as dowry, and that's all. All the rest of the property was inherited by male issues. But this law was changed. In contrast to that, Muslim personal law was allowed to remain, and it is still applicable with some changes. So Dr. Ambedkar did have a big grievance against the Congress party, but it's the Congress party which gave him this job to become the chairman. Later on, he wanted to do more things, and since the House had landlord classes represented, there were Hindu right-wingers, the compromise was the constitution which was agreed. So that's how you should understand Ambedkar. Definitely he got disillusioned. You see, let me also clarify. The Indian constitution gives one vote to one man, one woman, but which also means one vote for the Brahmin and one vote for the Dalit. Now, according to Hindu theology, Manusmriti, if you apply that, the Brahmin can get 10,000 votes and Dalit should not be even recognized as a full human being. But the Indian constitution gives everybody one vote. Men, women, Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, whatever. So that's a big political revolution or reform, one can say. But you know, society which is based for 3,000 years on the basis of caste, you can't wish it away. That change has to come about over a long period of time. And one theory is that the Hindu right, realizing that the Dalits and the other backward castes are so many in numbers that if they get more and more power, the upper caste Hindus' privileges will be diminished. So what they have done politically is divert the whole attention to the Muslims. You get the point?
Yeah,
so what they have politically is that actually the threat to them is the Indian constitution, which gives equal rights to the Dalit and to the other backward castes. And the other backward castes and the Dalits become about 65% of the Indian population. So that threat is the real one. Not the Muslims are no threat to the Hindu right. But in order to, divert attention from the main threat, they have taken up to target Muslims. So this is politics, if you want to call it.